What a place, huh? It's ridiculous. No place for the Hilux here. I think when I realised I was good at nothing else. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, as a kid, I loved watching racing, and Dad was doing a bit, so I think I grew up at the track and just fell in love with it from there, the noise, the speed. And then, yeah, there was, I loved sports as a kid, but motor racing was what gave me the most buzz, and I liked it because it was different as well. Every other kid was playing cricket or footy, and I loved those sports as well, but for me, motor racing was a chance to sort of, do something different. And I think I've always been a bit like that, like whether it's taste in music or whatever, I do like the non-sort of commercial things. I think for me it was when I moved to Europe. I think that's definitely helped me out. In terms of, I think it's when I really realised that's what I wanted to do, is when I sort of made that move. And that first year I was super disciplined. I grew up a lot, I matured a lot, just living alone, living in another country, sort of fending for myself, so to speak. And I think that definitely matured me as a person, but it made me realise that this is really, I was willing to sacrifice, it all to make it happen. So, and yeah, I was, you get days where you're homesick, but I wasn't that homesick. Like I realised I was loving it that much that was another sign that, I was really, that's what I was after. I haven't thought about anything like that yet. I think I'm still too young to start thinking of a legacy, but sure, if I can inspire, young kids, especially young Australians, to try and follow their dream, and if that's, racing cars and being a Formula One world champion, then, that would be nice. So I'll always try and conduct myself in a good way, but I feel I'm still too young to worry about a legacy. For me, I would say, not that I'm not, but I think in general, just be grateful. Like, try and, even on bad days, I think there's still things to be appreciative of. So I think if you can still find a way to be happy or enjoy a bad day or take something positive out of a bad day, then I think the rest becomes easy and the good days are great and whatever. So yeah, I mean, I keep saying it, my friends would kill to have my job. So even on a bad day, I think, yeah, exactly. So on a bad day, I think I try and think of someone else or my mates, and I never want to be like that spoilt child syndrome and kick the bucket when, even a bad day is not really that bad in this sport. I think growing up, Senna was a big inspiration. For me, I love the way he was. Obviously, I was young when he passed, but I still remember a lot. But obviously, then once he passed, I was still watching things and documentaries and whatever. And I loved the way he was aggressive on track. It's like others were feared, if they saw him in the mirrors. Yet off track, I thought he was really humble and quite gracious about it all. So for me, that balance is really cool. So he was definitely one that stood out for me. And just as a young kid, I could already see some of those little traits that he had, and I was pretty fond of that. I'm very impressed with the garage here. The garage, it undersells it massively. I think that's what you guys call it, isn't it? Dutton's Garage.
Dutton Garage.
It's an understatement to say the least, but it's a dream garage, that's for sure. I mean, my dad's been in love with cars since he was young, and he knows a lot more about cars than I do. So when he told me about this place and said, mate, you got to try and just get there. And I remember last year he was saying it already, and I was like, Dad, it's so busy, you know, race weekend, there's so much going on, I can't just pop in, you know. But then when I obviously heard about maybe doing something here, I was like, yeah, let's try and get it at this Dutton's place. It gives me a chance to get an event done, but also see it. And yeah, overwhelmed. It's honestly very, very impressive. And yeah, for Dad to speak highly about something, I mean, he's traveled the world and seen a few cool things, and yeah, I can see why. Yeah, I mean, I've only seen half of it already, and it's already blown me away. So it's cool. It's cool that there's something like this in Australia, and it's cool to have, you know, a group of people so passionate about it and to do it properly. You know, I think if you're going to make the effort, then make it count, and they've definitely done it here. So pretty amazing place.
Awesome. Thank you, mate.
No worries.